Hello everyone, welcome to the Advancement Centre and welcome to the world of magic and miracles, where once again we experience the unknown in its greatest form, in a form that can be felt here on earth for the first time in many, many centuries. Our elevated platform of living is our natural way of life now. And each time we speak of it, the energies start to move and we interact in such a way that we elevate ourselves to places way beyond anything we've imagined before. The movement of our fields is now automatic, and it's integrated with the movement ahead of the universe. But it's totally under our control, even though we feel that it's not. The control is not through our brain and not directly through our body, even though we can sense everything. There's an operating system that belongs to us, that comes from our origin and is held by the majestic being that we know we are. So as we move forward into the world of magic and miracles and invite ourselves further into the world of our Creator, we find there's much more available than we ever thought we could experience. It's like stepping through a door and there's nothing on the other side until you actually let go of the door. And then everything is totally different and never even relates to what was on the other side of the door. While you're standing at the door or standing in front of the door, you cannot experience the full world of your Creator. So that final step out into nowhere seems to be frightening when you take it, but so rewarding once you have. So now that many, many, many people have done that, the movement, the random movement of all the fields seems to hold everybody in a perfect state where they don't have concerns and they don't have to make decisions. The world just takes its way forward in a random manner, just like the growth of a plant. Put two identical plants beside one another, they grow up totally different. Put two people beside one another, they grow up totally different. And no matter how many times you say they're the same, they're not. They may be the same species, but they're not the same. You can get two tomatoes and they look identical. But when you look closely, they're not at all. Because there's nothing in the universe that's done the same twice. One of the things that really attracts us is the fact that we're unique. And that nobody can be the same as us. And that what we've got to offer can only be judged by us. And if it's judged by a standard that's made from somewhere else, it's not the gift that we offered. It's some modified version that we didn't actually present. So now we're at a point where the world is starting to get used to the fact that we can present more. Each one of us can present more than the person beside us because we're different. And you cannot compare the two because there's nothing to compare. The smile on someone's face can be called a smile like it is for everyone, but it's unique, it's different, it has different meaning, and it's caused by different things. So right now, we're looking into that space that totally engulfs us, but doesn't touch us at all. It's called freedom, but it's not freedom from anything. It is total freedom because we're not touching anything and nothing's touching us. It's like being on the dance floor and know that you can go in any direction at any time and not run into anyone. It seems to be impossible, and you seem to have your wits about you to do that sort of thing. But in fact, you don't. And you look at many dance floors where people are not taking any notice of the person next to them and they don't ever run into one another. There's a field that we can feel, admittedly, but you're not spending the time to analyze it, you're just working with it. So now we start to work with the fields that don't reveal themselves in the same way as the ones we've been used to. And they're simple things. As long as we are willing to accept that everything is available, we can try anything. One of the greatest things for the future that everyone will get a lot out of is your hidden ability to change anything within your body. Just like you can make sure you're not burnt on hot coals, you can change many other things. And the greatest thing to change is the signal that tells you there's something wrong. You don't need to have a harsh ringing signal that says urgent, 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 I've got to do something about this. You can have a gentle, beautiful feeling that makes you feel great, that tells the control system of your body to change its physical state. In other words, turn pain into elation. Turn discomfort into total love and comfort. The signal that comes to your body can be reprogrammed by magic. Many of fine athletes train themselves to go past that point where pain affects them. And they actually say they get a second breath. When you're a young child and you're running and you get a pain in the side, they call a stitch in Australia. You keep running, it disappears and you can go forever. It's not through the effort of going through it. It's because you've decided you can change it. Or somebody told you that you could, so you tried. In the near future, you're going to be able to do this to everything. And you won't be calling it healing. You just change the nature of what is coming to you. The interaction of your control system in your whole body handles the rest. And it doesn't cause difficulty. So in the strange way, we can look at what's happening to us and use our magic to reset the alarms, to reset the tune that happens when the phone rings. You can have a great screech comes out of your phone every time it rings and frighten the hell out of you. Or you can have a nice gentle tone. It's identical within your body. Each time you move, you can either focus on your movement or you can forget about it. It still works. And when you forget about it, it feels good because there are no alarms going off. So one of the magic opportunities that you've got is to play with those various signals, interfaces, alerts that have been trained into your body, and you don't have to retrain them. You just see it as different, and then get on with whatever else you're doing. It will change itself. This is the magic of your personal supercomputer. And the fact that you want to feel as if you're out in the woods and you can just simply do it proves beyond a doubt that you can do anything you want. There's no need to have the fixed pictures that have been trained into us. So our ability to walk up a hill, you can change. You can give yourself a picture where you throw your energy out and you pull yourself up by just pressing the button and letting it wind you in. You can have any picture you like. But the fact is, you are changing your operating system and you're calling on forces of the universe and the earth to rearrange themselves to your benefit. And it does work. I've done it many times and so have many other people. Many of the trained people throughout the world can demonstrate all sorts of things, but you don't have to be trained, and you don't have to demonstrate them to anyone but you. So make your life easy. When you go to get out of bed, just make it one movement and stand up. You don't have to stop halfway even. And you'll find you'll be standing steady and clear because you decided you're just going to get out of bed. When you're getting out of a chair, it's not a matter of standing up. Go a little bit further, go to the step further. Maybe you're going to get a drink of water. Go straight to that step and watch the rest work by itself. And the more you do this, the more you'll see that you can project way past the steps in life that we've been using as steps. And you will get to your destination without even disturbing any part of your being. The smoothness of life depends only on the simplicity and the brevity of your instruction. So when I talk about an instruction set, I'm talking about the same thing as you would with a computer. The instruction set for the language that actually tells the computer what to do is very clear and very concise. And it used to be very, very long. But now, the simple thing is you press an A, and if you have the right program on the screen, you'll get an A printed on the screen. That's a simple instruction set. You press a B, you'll get a B. You want to write a letter? You put a program up that'll hold all those functions. But if you go a little bit further, now that you've got voice activation, you can just say letter. Up comes your word processor, ready for you to go. And you start talking, and it writes everything in front of you. We are more advanced than that. We can say, write me a letter, and just sit and wait. And the whole lot arrives. Read me a story, boom, there it is. Show me the difference between this and that, and you'll get no answer. But you'll wake up in the middle of the night and you'll know. things that you've never investigated, you know how to do. The more you play with that, the more proficient you will be at the world that you are presenting in this physical world. You don't have to strain. You have to do less and expect more. And one of the things I recently read, I said, it's just like giving the taxi driver your destination. The rest is automatic. They take over, they drive you to your destination, tell you what it costs, and you get out of the car. Simplicity of the instruction didn't change. How you get there, how the car works, what the taxi driver feels, anything. So during that simple operation of several seconds, you've achieved what may be 30 to 40 minutes of travel, or maybe 3 to 4 hours through a simple instruction set. So assume nothing. Don't bother about how, and don't overdo the instructions. Simple instruction, sit back and relax and enjoy yourself. And watch what happens. If you take just the taxi trip and you add to it lots of conversation, lots of interaction with GPS, lots of disturbance of the driver, you find you're back to where you started from. You're interfering in the original instruction. It's like using speech and then starting to type at the same time on the computer. It doesn't quite like it at that stage. So as we move into what we've got for the future, it's important to know that you are very, very talented. You're about to present to the world an industry of magic and miracles that you brought here and that you're making the rules for. So why not make the rules magic, illogical, and beautiful? Make them so that it doesn't matter what you do, you feel better. Instead of the way we've been instructed, which says the more you do that, the worse you feel. But in fact, it's the other way around. The more you do, the better you feel. But the less you do in instruction, the more will happen. So it sounds to the brain a little bit confusing until you start to find you feel great. The temperature around you is okay. Everybody's acting correctly. And you didn't tell anybody what to do. And you didn't lay down the rules. You felt them. You felt them in the joy of the interaction with other people. So now our power is not important because we know it's ultimate, unlimited, and does not disturb anything. Therefore, it doesn't need to be controlled. You can be the most powerful person in the world because it's your world. And you don't have to do anything to be that. So it's about the gentle interaction with the most powerful of all of your tools, and that's your own personal supercomputer, and how it translates in everything that you're offering the world, and how beautiful everybody feels without you doing anything or saying anything. Everybody can feel beautiful can feel comfortable and fulfilled, no matter what's happening around. And you've often read they try to measure which country is the happiest. And they can't figure out what it's based on. It's based on the general feeling of the interaction of the people in all the societies. But most of all, in everybody's own personal life. They can walk down the street and the street's not paved properly and they can be happy. You can have all sorts of things going on around you and be happy. And then all those things change. And the world around you blossoms and glows. So as we advance, we find there's a lot more to life than doing things. You can change the slightest thing, even in one of the rooms of your house. And you've changed your world. You feel happy. You feel fulfilled. And it may have been that you just put some flowers there. You wash the sheets and you put them on the bed and you can't wait until you experience what it's like to lay in those fresh sheets. The beauty carries. And it carries on through a means that you don't have to explain. But you know it's going everywhere. So as you look after the things around you, you're looking after the things around everyone. And what might seem to be a small thing is quite major. It's like putting too much salt in the cake will kill it, but the right amount makes it perfect. And you're the one that knows the right amount because it's your cake. And so as we step forward, we've got a whole new box of tricks that we brought with us. And we went way into the world of our Creator to find this box of tricks with all the sparkles, all the jewels, all the special things that light people up like little children. Simple things that you're bringing back into the world. And when you come back into the world, they're not visible yet. But you can make them visible through other means, through your own transmission, and through your understanding that you're not controlled by any person on any earth. You are controlled by you. And you make sure that you don't put pressure on yourself or anybody else, and you're in a perfectly balanced state. Therefore, it's easy to change your own feeling of well-being to exotic. Every sense in your being can be exotic. Every signal can be, oh, that was good. And you don't have to worry about whether it's a hard thing to fix or an easy thing to fix, because you're not the fix-it man. It's all automatic. So the more we talk about the simplicity of the instruction set, the more power we give ourselves to achieve the feeling of well-being that we're offering to everybody else. And in that feeling of well-being, we only have to look at someone, smile, and the energies come out. And you don't have to do anything about it. It just keeps going. You smile and say good morning to someone, you'll feel it. And you just fill their life with really good stuff that needs no explanation, that doesn't have any glitches, and doesn't have to overcome anything. We walk on the beach and we feel that interface between the water and the land, where everything is new, where you can actually connect to other worlds in that interface. And there are spots sometimes along the beach where you feel like there's a vortex and it just takes you everywhere and brings all communication together. And you take a deep breath and you feel totally renewed. Sometimes you stand there for hours. There are many of these places on the earth. But in a fraction of a second, you can create one around yourself. And you don't have to visualize. It's there. So why not do it all the time? And make sure that you're in connection with everything. You're connected to every part of the universe, every different world, every different being, even the spaceships. You'll get response. You can talk. You can talk to your relatives. You can talk to those that you wouldn't want to talk to. And it's all fun. And the only thing that's needed is a little bit of experimenting and lots of magic and miracles. Plenty of sparkles and plenty of fairy dust. And if you just flick some in the air every now and then, walk under it and feel it, the rest takes itself. And as we come together for this magnificent future that we have ahead of us, we'll get more brazen, if you like. That's a funny word, but it's more than game. We will stand there and display the sparkles that come through us, that we generate. We'll display more than just our heart. We'll display our capability of doing the impossible and not even blinking. And many times not even moving. And if you wonder how that's possible, just focus for a fraction of a second on the grandfather looking at the young child and winking and keeping a straight face. It's never forgotten. The energy goes direct to that child and they almost jump through the roof. So the classic simplicity has more power, longer lasting evidence of life than anything else you'll ever know. The hidden signal between grandmother and granddaughter that they always know lasts forever and maintains a being in its full capacity just by that slightest recognition of a word or an action. So remember the little words and little actions you can attach yourself to. They don't have to come from anybody else, they can come from you. And you will change the world, providing you stick with simplicity, the mischief, the magic, and anything else you feel like. So to end this beautiful interaction, we once again offer you perfect life, perfect health, and a really magic future. Thank you.